What's up, you guys? It's Gavin. I'm back with another video today. If you don't know me, I'm an ex-powerlifter turned bodybuilder. Today, I want to talk about the mindset that I developed while losing 60 pounds over the last 8 months. So, over that time, obviously, I was dieting and I was taking the steps that I had to take, but it wasn't always easy. And I would say I'm in a much, much better spot now than I was then. And it really does come down to a mindset shift. So, I want to talk about the specific lessons that I had to learn while dieting and bodybuilding that kind of changed my life completely and affected every single area of my life. The way I conduct myself, my values have changed completely. I used to work as a restaurant manager and I hated it, and I knew I hated it. But the problem was I just didn't know what to do with my life. I knew I liked lifting, but outside of lifting 2 hours a day, my life was miserable. Started a complete coaching business in which I'm helping other guys achieve the same goals that I was able to achieve. And it's the most fulfilling thing ever. Not just my life, but watching their life grow and their love for fitness grow as well. Couldn't imagined of any dream. 8 months ago, this would have seemed like an impossibility. Want to run you guys through today the mindset that I needed to develop to lose the 60 pounds, but not only lose the 60 pounds, get to the point in my life where I had the confidence to let go of the things I was afraid to lose. Just before we hop in case you were wondering, I am still offering one-on-one coaching. So if that interests you, the link to the scheduling will be in my bio. So go ahead and give that a click if you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me. All right, you guys, sorry if it's a bit messy today. Normally I have a script going into these and I have a rough idea of what I want to say, but I'm just gonna kind of let my words flow. So I will try and not cut as much as possible and just get all my thoughts out there. So this is what I look like. I want to preface this by saying I was still lifting at the time, right? I was lifting arguably harder than this guy was lifting. I was working out every single day and I had an immense passion for powerlifting, but it wasn't the powerlifting that I was passionate about. It was the need to grow and the need to be great at something. I've always had that within me. The issue with powerlifting is it's just the lifting. Unlike bodybuilding, that's every single part of your life. So a big switch, first off the bat, I will say, was just making it a lifestyle instead of a habit or a hobby. Let's get into the mindset switches. So yeah, I was lifting in both, and there's the brain for the mindset. The first thing I want to talk about is enjoyment versus discipline. So what this means to me is I think a lot of times when someone's first starting with a coach or first starting with just lifting in general, they're told that you shouldn't rely on motivation, you should rely on discipline. I'm here to say that not only is that statement true, but I'll take it one step farther. You shouldn't rely on discipline, you should rely on your enjoyment. Now, these things work like a teeter totter. When I first started bodybuilding, I was miserable eating every single day the same things. I had never done it before. I had never been on a diet. And every time I made my meals, I was feeding into that grittiness. That was the only thing keeping me going, thinking, oh, I'm working harder than everybody else. I'm more disciplined than everybody else, which is great. And if that works for you, then great. But I'm here to tell you that discipline is a muscle in your brain. And like any other muscle, it can grow, but it can also get fatigued. So you can rely on discipline, but over time, that muscle is going to be fatigued and you will break. This is when binging comes in. I used to have the worst binging disorder when I first started bodybuilding because I had never been on meal prep before, and my coach made it in a way of like, yeah, this is what we do. We only eat this, and if you go off, then you're just not strong enough. I'm here to tell you that's not true. You need to rely on enjoyment. If you come at it with an attitude of, I'm eating this food because I enjoy eating this food. I enjoy growing my body in the ways that I want to grow it because I have control over that. And you do. You will learn to love the process. It's a very cliche statement, but it's very, very true. If you can learn to love eating, then your perception of effort is going to be completely different. And perception of effort, basically what that means is these people, I tried to find two people that were eating nearly the same thing. Obviously, this one's AI, but that's besides the point. He's miserable and he's not. What do you think the difference is? He's enjoying this. He's saying, I'm taking control over my life and I love eating the foods that I want to eat. And this guy's thinking, I can't eat a hamburger. I can't eat out. I can't do this. And that is miserable. That's discipline. He's having discipline to eat those things, but he's miserable. This guy doesn't need to rely on any discipline. Now, you won't always enjoy what you're doing. I'm not saying you should enjoy it 100% of the time. Sometimes you want to wake up and just eat a burger, right? That's when discipline comes in. But it should not be your main motivator. Your main motivator should be enjoyment. That's what wakes me up every morning because I love getting after it. I love eating the foods that I'm choosing to eat. I love working hard in the gym. When it gets to the point where you're telling yourself, oh, I just need to lock in. Oh, I just need to eat this food because I'm so locked. That's when it starts impacting other areas of your life. I told you that I hated my job. I had that same idea with my job. Oh, I hate this job, but I'm working harder than everybody else, and I take pride in that. Well, guess what? I continue to work every single day, and I continued to hate my job. Is that all that life is supposed to be about? No, fulfillment comes from effort, but effort can be enjoyable, right? It's a teeter-totter. So you're going to rely on enjoyment 99% of the time. You're going to love your meals because you made them and you're taking the choices that you should. You're going to love lifting because you love working out. You love the feeling of getting a pump. You love the feeling of seeing your muscles. Whatever it is, getting sweaty, whatever it is, you love that. You love doing cardio because when you get done, you get that sense of I just worked out really, really hard. You love going to bed on time because you like waking up feeling refreshed and ready to go. Some days you won't love it. Not 100% of the time. That's when you rely on discipline. But don't let that be your main motivator. Don't say, oh, I hate lifting, but I'm disciplined. I'm a dog. Because, yeah, you can do that for a week. You can do that for a month. But eventually, you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to say, why am I doing this? You need to rely on enjoyment first. The next thing I want to talk about is the difference between lifting being 2 hours of my life versus my entire lifestyle. So I'll say this is all in or in the way is a very good quote that I like quoting. So back when I was powerlifting, right, I loved powerlifting for the 2 to 3 hours I was there. When it was time to leave, I hated my life because that's all powerlifting is. You can say powerlifting, there is a diet, there is sleep, but there really isn't. If you get your macros and your calories in, the rest won't matter. It's just time in and time out. Bodybuilding, it is every single aspect of your life. Now, I'm not saying you have to bodybuild in order for that to happen, but you should have the lifestyle that you need. So, what it comes down to is every single thing I eat is now part of that lifestyle. Every time I go to bed, that's a part of that lifestyle. Your life becomes a PR. So the gym is very, very enjoyable because you are putting in effort and you're getting something out of it, right? When you add 5 pounds to the bar, you put in effort and you got something out of it. That feels good. Well, what if your entire life was like that? What if you measured what you ate every single day and it's been 2 months since you cheated on your meal plan? That's a PR. It's been a week since you haven't gotten 8 hours of sleep. That's a PR. Those feel just as good as your gym PRs. Your entire life becomes this challenge. And when you're constantly one-upping yourself, that's growth, right? And then your entire life becomes a dopamine hit, basically. And it feels amazing. That's the mindset that you need. And that will go back to enjoyment versus discipline. So measurable growth is addicting. Effort equals fulfillment. Fulfillment, anything in life that makes you feel fulfilled requires a sense of effort. You think about relationships, religion, the gym, your work. It's only fulfilled for you when you're putting in all the effort. So the amount of effort you're putting in is the amount of fulfillment you're going to get back. So if you're putting in effort towards your eating habits, your sleeping habits, your rest habits, your supplement habits, imagine the amount of fulfillment you're getting out of that. But you can't rely on discipline for that. You have to tell yourself you're enjoying this. That's how you make it a lifestyle, and that's how you do it for a very, very long time. Finally, I want to talk about taking action because this was the biggest thing for me. I had wanted to be a bodybuilder for probably a decade, honestly. Since I started lifting, that was always like, oh, one day I want to step on stage. I didn't know when that day would be, but I always told myself, one day. But it really came down to I didn't want to lose the progress that I had made powerlifting. I'm here to tell you, you need to let go. We're only here once, right? You're going to lose it anyway. You need to let go and not be afraid of what you'll lose because what you have to gain from chasing your dreams is so much more than what you have to lose. I love this saying: action alleviates anxiety. If you're scared that you will lose what you have and not gain enough in return, then take action, right? Take that quitting step and then take action to get towards your goals. If you have that sense of, I am taking the steps that I need to get to my goals, your anxiety will flee. You will know that you're doing what it takes. There will be no anxiety. And I can attest towards that every single day. That's what it takes to lose the weight, is the action portion. It's so easy to sit back and say, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I lost the 60 pounds? Wouldn't it be nice if I was a bodybuilder? There are actual dopamine hits your brain gets from thinking that. That's why you rely on that so much. That's why every night before bed you're thinking about that. And then you wake up the next morning and you don't want to take those steps. It's because you just spent the last 2 hours last night thinking about, oh, wouldn't it be so nice? You just got so much dopamine out of that, and now you no longer feel the need. So stop fantasizing about it and just take action. I promise you, delayed gratification, the more effort it put in, the more delayed it was for you, the more fulfillment you will get out of that. So start taking action now, because the dream that you really want is going to be the one that takes years upon years, and it'll take every single day of you wanting to be better. And if you don't know where to start, my advice to you is stand up right now. That's not hard at all, is it? Right? Because you weren't waiting for a perfect place to stand up. The carpet didn't magically change towards you. You simply took the step and then you figured out where to go from there. That is the same as every single person. One quote I really like was, I believe this was said on a Alex Armozzi podcast, where he said, the difference between you and a millionaire is you both started at zero. They just took action. It's true with literally every single thing in life. If I were to go back in time to my very first lift and ask myself what I was afraid of, there was nothing. It was just the action I needed to take. So take action from where you are right now. The perfect time to start is now. The perfect time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. But the second perfect place is now. You can start building that now. Think about 6 months from now, how happy you will be. But that's fantasizing, so don't do that. But just understand that 6 months from now, you could have the dream body you want. All it takes is you taking action right now. But don't let that motivate you. Find your sense of enjoyment. Wake up tomorrow ready to go, and don't say, I'm going to start locking in. It's not about locking in. It's, I'm going to start enjoying chasing my dreams. And your entire life will be this enjoyment cycle where you will love life and you will love making progress. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, this is where I started and this is where I was now. These are about 8 months apart. I mean, more than just losing the weight, I am so much more fulfilled in my life. I literally, like, every single bit of my life is so much better, and I have arguably less, though. Like, I don't make a lot of money right now, you guys, but I feel alive for the very first time in my life. And I just want you guys to know that, like, it takes every single day just waking up and saying, like, I'm ready to achieve those goals, and understanding that they're not going to be here for a while, but that's okay, because I would much rather spend the next 2 years, 3 years of my life chasing my goals than the next 20 dreaming about them. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video.